Hey everyone, Dylan Scott here doing another Hey Nice Beard interview. Today we got Mike Wilson with us. He is an East Coast competitor and I have lost to him before. So I can't wait for the opportunity to beat him again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. All right, there we go. How's it going?
Pretty good, my man. Long time no see.
I know, was what, LA?
No, I think it was Cassie last year, 2019.
Oh, no.
Down in Austin. Because I wasn't at LA 2019.
Yeah.
I missed out on that one, unfortunately. But yeah, man. Good hanging. Good hanging.
Yeah. Did you work today?
Yeah. I've been getting super slammed. For some reason, they thought it would be fun to just give us a ton of work at 1 o'clock on a Friday. So.
So why don't you tell everyone exactly what you do for a living?
Yeah. So I work for Target. I'm a senior recruiter there. So under normal operating circumstances, pre-COVID, I was recruiting a lot of software engineers, so like Java developers, for all the applications that the company develops and uses, to keep product moving through the stores and online. So we've just had like kind of just a shift within how we're operating right now. So I've kind of been swatted out to different areas of the organization. So I was recruiting like asset protection or loss prevention specialists for some of our field stores out on the Northeast area. Now I'm recruiting people for our distribution centers, mostly out in California right now. So looking for like warehouse workers, people that can drive forklifts and whatnot. But that's what I do, man. I just try to harbor talent for the organization and keep the wheels moving so we can keep everybody supplied with their Target goodies.
Yeah, Target's definitely the place I prefer to go. Like, I'll spend a little bit extra to avoid Walmart, like, altogether.
Yeah. It's not too much more. And the perks of working here, we do get really nice discounts for shopping at Target. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think that'd be an awesome job to be like a loss prevention specialist. Like, just make sure people don't steal stuff all day long.
Yeah, those folks, they get down and dirty sometimes. If somebody's walking out with some merchandise, again, pre-COVID, they would be able to take them down if necessary. But now we said, you know what, we're not gonna do that right now because we want to keep our associates safe. We want to, keep our guests safe by just not, touching anybody. So now they have to let them go. Just take down their license plate number, any descriptions, work with the cops on, providing a resolution if possible. But yeah, it's still a crazy business.
Yeah, that's the way. My girl, she works for Ulta, and she gets people in at least once a week, just like clearing out the fragrance aisle, like they're just stealing stuff, and they can't do anything about it because if they do tackle someone, they could sue the company for damage to their self. And I think that's ridiculous. Like, if you get caught stealing, like, everything else should be like, well, what were you doing? Why'd you get hurt? Oh, I was stealing stuff. Oh, well, guess what? Sucks to be you.
All your rights go out the window. No. Now, people do crazy stuff. They'll go up and they'll ring up like a packet of Kool-Aid to make it look like they're ringing up something at the self-checkout register, but then they'll put in, like a $40 or $50 item into their bag.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll just like grab the two, only scan the Kool-Aid packet for, what is it, 20 cents, and then put a $40 item in their bag. So there's been lots of theft, and that happens everywhere. Walmart, Target, anywhere that's got a self-checkout, people are really exploiting that.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Man, where do I start? Well, it all happened on a cold February evening when Mr. Dave and Kelly Wilson got together and said, this is a cold night, and I think we're going to make things happen. So that's where it all began. Parents doing some bumping. But live in Minneapolis. Girlfriend of 3 years lives with me. We've got 2 kids from a previous marriage, 2 daughters that are 11 and almost 9 in a couple weeks, Sienna and Ambelina. Awesome little kids, so they keep me busy. They keep me frustrated. They keep me busy. No, it's just a lot of hands-on with, not being able to go see their friends, not being able to go to school and all that. So a lot more attention. But so you got to learn about my job. Just trying to keep on keeping on here with everything that's going on. Done a lot of beard competitions over the years. You and I have stood next to each other a few times over the years.
Yes,
I think starting at Worlds in 2017 down in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we first met. So been doing the bearding thing for probably 5 or 6 years now. I think when I originally joined the Minneapolis Beard and Moustache Club, we renamed to the Minnesota Beard and Moustache Coalition, but I think I first joined in 2015, and then just took off from there.
So how long have you had this beard that you got now?
God, I think I last clean shaved probably in like 2013. But the last time I took it down to like a stubble length was probably 2014. So 6 years or so. I've been trimming here and there. Took the stash off for the most part about 7 weeks ago. I think it was. Just took a number 4 guard and popped it off. No more full beard mustache. No more full beard styled stash.
Well, yours is nice and thick. Like, it'll grow back. Like, I already see you got a good considerable amount of length on it.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised by that, how much it's actually going just by taking it down to a number 4 guard in like 7 weeks.
Mine's still the same length as when we competed in Austin against each other.
Yeah.
But
you kind of snip the tips a little bit, don't you? Like when you're doing your freestyle?
Yeah, I do, just to make, because like this side grows a little bit longer than this side. Like this side will be like up here, and then this side will be up here. So I gotta I'll take it down to here, and then I'll cut a little bit off the other side as well, just to not try to match it up the first time, because that's how you end up like, and then you end up,
I don't have a mustache anymore.
Dang, I already pre-registered for my category. Now I got to call and say, hey, can I enter whaler? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was in full beard styled stash, but now I'm whaler. What did you do?
Did you pull an Anthony Cardi and light your beard on fire?
Oh, I'm so ticked I missed that.
Oh man,
my flight got in super late, and so everybody was coming back from the bar because that was down in Austin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got in super late, and everybody's finally coming back from the bar, and everybody's like, "Oh, Cardi lit his beard on fire."
And it was funny because a couple weeks before that, he got into a bar fight, like he was bouncing someone out, and they grabbed his beard and ripped a good chunk out of it. So when he lit it on fire, like the next morning while we were getting set up for our freestyles and everything, he was like looking at it, and I'm looking at it too. I'm like, dude, you evened it out by lighting it on fire.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, yeah, we were sharing a room, and I'd gotten there, but he was hanging out with some other people, and I was going to meet up with some other friends that I know in Austin. So I ended up going to meet him up with them at the bar, and that's when he just pulled out a big old sheet of that burning paper.
Right.
And just and he did it right in front of his face because there wasn't a lot of room. And just all this side, just you could see it smoldering and little bits of red smoldering in his beard.
Yeah, it still smelled. I remember smelling it from a couple feet away from him when we were standing on the Super 8 balcony. Oh, you really did some Van damage to that thing.
So besides competitive facial hair, what other hobbies do you have?
So I collect a lot of vinyl. That's been a big thing that's kind of taken over the last couple of years. So just listening and collecting vinyl records. That's become quite an expensive hobby, but it's a lot of fun. Like I've always been really into music, and so collected a lot of CDs as a kid, and it was always fun just holding on to a CD and taking the booklet out and flipping through the lyrics and holding on to something. And then everything went digital. I was like, I don't have anything to hold on to anymore. Like I don't like just clicking through the iPod wheel and seeing album covers. That was just kind of dumb. So it was like 10 years ago. I just got a record out of, I think Metallica was putting out a new album, decided they're putting this on vinyl. I'm going to get this. And then bought a record player, and it just snowballed from there. So I've got a decent audio file set up at home now, and 300-400 records, and just try to dig through bins when I can, and it's a lot of fun. It's just nice holding on to that physical medium, really appreciating the time, the artwork that the artist put into it, and not to mention if you have a decent setup, it just sounds exponentially better.
Yeah, getting the crackle in the music of the needle hitting the vinyl itself. It's almost like with a lot of the older ones, they accommodated for that crackle in their music, and they were planning on it to be that way. So you get all these like new digital copies of music, and they're all like super crisp, super clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and listen to it on vinyl, and you're like, this is still better.
Well, it has this warmer sound to it. Like you're saying, it's not overproduced. If you have the right setup, you still get a right analog, like a true analog sound to it, which just provides a lot more body, I think. And that just, I don't know, there's something about it that I really appreciate. And so that's been a lot of fun. So aside from that, I mean, if COVID wasn't around, I'd be going to concerts probably every weekend. That's, just more music, just getting, music's always kind of been like my fallback, just to stay sane. And so being able to go to concerts was it's past tense, was great. And so, when everything hit, and had to cancel so many different shows that I had tickets to, it was kind of a bummer, and just looking for new outlets. And so that's my guitar rig back there. So this all set up. So I do play a little bit. Haven't been in a band for a while, but me and some buddies have been talking about getting back together and writing some things virtually and sending some stuff back to each other. So we'll see how that works out. What else family cabin. We've got a family cabin about 2 hours from where I live. So that's really nice to get out to and just hang out, unplug from everything, sit out on a boat all day, have a couple beers, hang out with the kids, and just, get away from all the nonsense that's going on for, a couple days at a time.
Yeah, I can't wait till baby Walter gets to the age where he can appreciate, because we just went up to Payson this last weekend, and we were trying to hit up Waterwheel Falls. It's several different levels of waterfalls, and
cool.
Several of them are deep enough that you can dive off of into the water.
Nice.
But all of Tonto National Forest is like, the whole way up when we were driving, it's like just huge mile spans of just burnt desert.
Oh.
And we get like
burnt, like they did some controlled burns, or it just...
No, there was a wildfire a couple weeks back up there.
Oh no.
And we've maybe gotten 1 or 2 days of monsoon rain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still just like black burnt desert ground.
Yeah.
And you could still see like the white powder that they use to put out fires all over the ground. So we get maybe like 10 minutes away from where the falls are at, and they've got the road completely blocked off, and they got forestry service like, yeah, you can go through, but the fines are like $2,000. Like, and I was like,
we'll pass.
No, thank you. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. Turn around, go home.
So the baby ended up sitting in the car seat for like 4.5 hours. But
How do you do with that?
he did pretty well. As long
Yeah.
as we like are paying attention to him, because we drove up to Colorado at the beginning of summer to visit my dad, and it was like an 8-hour drive, and he
Mhm.
was absolutely fine the whole way. Like we had to take him out once
Wow.
because it
Right,
was
because you still
buffet.
got to stop and feed and change the diaper and everything. Like, I
Mhm.
remember what would normally be a 4-hour trip to my ex's parents would turn into like a 7-hour trip because of all the stops that we'd have to make. And oh, so it sounds like your kiddo's doing pretty well with that.
Yeah, he is. But I just like I want him to get to the point where he like remembers these trips that we go on.
Yeah.
And because we were like I had the baby harness, I was gonna hike with him down to the falls and everything, but I wanted to be able to remember going on those hikes and everything.
Right.
And he'll get there, but I mean he just hit 8 months like 2 weeks ago. So
It flies, man. It flies. Hold on to your seat. It flies.
it does. He's just getting to the point where he like will lift himself up and like inch his way over
Hmm.
like coffee tables and stuff like that.
Hide your keys, hide your wallet, hide all that important stuff because they will figure out a way to lose it for you.
Oh yeah, like he's lost the remote several times, and we have like four of them for the living room TV. And he's managed to always finds the one that we need at that point, because if like we're trying to stream something, we'll pull out the Amazon Fire Stick remote, or if we're trying to watch
Yeah.
something on cable, he's managed to lose the one remote that we need at that time.
And it's like the one that you can't really replace either, like the Fire Stick remotes or like the Roku remotes and whatnot. I mean, you can download an app on your phone, but for the like with a lot of these days. But say like your main TV remote. Now I got to go to the store and I got to go buy one of those cheap universal remotes, And I swear, at like one point, we probably had 3 or 4 universal remotes because we lose one, we'd have to go replace it, and then all of a sudden another one would turn up. Then they'd both be gone. We'd have to go replace them again. Uh, Worth
Yeah,
it
my
though.
girl managed to lose, like I've got the Roku remote for my TV, and she managed to lose it. And she was like, "Oh, I looked everywhere for it. I can't find it." I'm like, "All right." And I went out and bought a universal remote. That day, I get home with the remote and I look behind the bed and it's right there. Like if she actually would have looked, she would like I would have saved like $15.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
in
now I
those
have another
situations,
one. Now I have another one, so that way, like, if she does lose it again, or the baby loses it, it's like, oh, I've already got a remote set up for the TV. So,
yeah. That role's usually reversed here. It's me who doesn't look hard enough, and then Chelsea will go, "Well, did you look on your nightstand?" Oh, yeah.
oh, I'm definitely guilty of that. I'll ask where something is in the pantry, and granted, we have like stockpiled our pantry due to the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Like, and so like it'll be right there, like standing eye level, right in the front, and I would have just glanced right past it. And then she gets up and she's like, "I swear, never." And I just am like, "TV remote," and she's like, "Oh." I'm out of here.
I should have there. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So, who are some of the most memorable people you've met because of your beard?
Hmm. Let's see here. Well, you obviously. Um, no, for real though. I mean, like we've always had really good interactions, and I've always appreciated our friendship and camaraderie when we've been able to hook up at comps. Probably Mets. You know, Mets and I have always gotten along really well. We've been able to room up a couple times, and he's just an outstanding individual. I mean, an outstanding bearder, but as a person, he's somebody that like we've got very similar birthdays. You know, grew up with a lot of the same influences and things. So he's always been a lot of fun. Nate, obviously, Nate Johnson out in LA. Amazing dude. You know, it's just funny as shit. I mean, some of the stuff that I get from him, and I send it right back to him too, but it's just great guy. A lot of the members of my club too, that I've been fortunate enough to become friends with. Jamin O'Malley, president of our club. I mean, dude's my brother. Somebody who would, you know, we both give each other the shirts off our backs at any point in time. So Jimmy Kimmel probably wouldn't have been on the Jimmy Kimmel show had it not been for my beard. You know, just got picked up off of Hollywood Boulevard saying, "Hey, do you want to be on the show?" Guarantee if I didn't have a beard, that wouldn't have happened. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. I've had a lot of weird little things happen probably because of my beard. I've had a couple acting gigs or like commercial spots here locally because of that. I did one for Duke Cannon on World Beard Day a couple years ago. And then like I was at a minor league baseball game, got asked to come out onto the field for like one of their in-between inning games that they do. Guarantee that if I didn't have a beard, I wouldn't have gotten picked out. So it's just like those little things, I think, that the beard just kind of pushes you towards.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny that you brought up Nate Johnson. That's actually my next question. He comes up during every interview.
Oh,
Whenever
sure.
I ask people who are the most memorable people, Nate Johnson's always one of them. So my question is, what was the first time that you met Nate Johnson?
Let's see here. I think Great American Denver 2016, we met, didn't talk a whole lot. Then like a month or two later, we were both in St. Louis for BAM St. Louis, and he was judging. I was there, and you know, we just started talking about like his comic work that he was doing with Batman at the time, or the animation work that he was doing with them, and you know, just started nerding out on a lot of that stuff. And so that was probably the first time that we like really kind of got down and just like broed out a little bit, nerded out. But then it was like Austin where we like really started tearing things up. That's where everybody starts to tear things up, is when you go down to Austin.
That's actually my first, like I met him in a competition,
Yeah.
but he's talking to everybody. So I actually stayed with him at Worlds, him and Mark McShane.
Yeah.
And that was like I ran into him at the airport, and I was like, Nate Johnson. Because I was supposed to be staying with Adam and Tiffany.
Okay.
Tiffany's family dog ended up getting really sick, so she couldn't come.
Oh.
So they're like, "Oh, we're gonna figure this out for you. We'll find somewhere for you to stay." And I'm just like, "Oh man, like what? Like I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm doing. I've never been to Austin before."
You're going for the biggest beard competition of all time.
I don't know anybody really. It was my first time traveling out of state for a competition.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm going down the escalator and Nate Johnson's right there. And I was like, "Someone with a beard. Hey, oh, it's Nate Johnson." And I finally get a hold of Tiffany and she's like, "Yeah, you're staying with Nate Johnson." And I was like, "Oh, apparently I'm staying with you." He was like, "You're that Dylan Scott."
There's a picture, I think, of you, Nate, myself, and then Jamin from my club standing on the balcony of Super 8 at like 2:30 in the morning or something during Worlds. No shirts, just completely blown out. Who knows how many beers deep we're at that point. I mean, that was a good time. There was a funny Nate story that I don't think he'll mind me telling. Otherwise, I'll probably hear about it later, but I think everybody might have a common one like this. So he flies out to Minneapolis to judge our comp. Goes great. The very next night, we all hop in a van and we're going across Wisconsin to Milwaukee because James McMahon is hosting his club's competition the very next night. So we had this kind of two-for weekend. So Allie, she flew out as well. She was in the van with us. A couple members from my club, Sean Logie was in the van from Detroit because he had judged our comp the night before as well. And so we're like, I don't know, 7-8 people deep in this van, and we're trucking across the state of Wisconsin. And I swear, like every time that we hit a rest stop or a gas station, Nate's like, hold on, let me get a beer quick, because we weren't gonna drink while we were driving. Like you can't have an open container in the state of Wisconsin. So stop the car, hop out, have a beer. Nate probably have a couple beers. And so what was supposed to be like a 5.5 hour trip probably took about 7. Just one more. I gotta have one more. No, but that was fun. There's some funny pictures from those couple nights as well. Just, being able to hang out in the Midwest, get some good Midwest beer in us, and trek across the state. It's a good time.
So what is your most memorable placing you've done in a competition?
Oh. It's kind of weird. So, well, first place for sure at Nationals last year. So I got first in full beard styled mustache, 3 to 6 inch categories. So they, at the Nationals, they broke the full beard styled stash down to different lengths. So I had trimmed mine down. Oh, excuse me. I had trimmed mine down to just under 6. So I got first in that category. And let me see. If I stop my video, you can actually see that.
I don't think it'll come up during,
Oh.
but I can make it the picture for the video.
Okay. Yeah, my profile picture on Zoom is basically Jeffrey Moustache's headshot from that comp. So that one was super cool. Like, I've gotten getting first at Cassie 2018. So I can't remember what number that was, 12. That one was super rad. And being up on stage for best in show at a Cassie event was just nuts. And that was like my first really big win at a local comp. Getting in second place next to Mets at Great American in Richmond, that one felt really good too. Like that was a lot of fun. That was a really big comp, long day. And placing next to Mets at a Great American comp was pretty cool. Like that one was really nice. But yeah, I think obviously getting first at a national event was kind of the icing on the cake there.
Yeah, since I've started doing freestyle, it's been Jason Kiley for me. Like anytime I get, because I got for Cassie 13, I took third place. Johnny Dingo took second, and Kiley took first. And then for LA's online competition, I actually took first place, and I think Kiley tied for second with Sean Logie.
Wow.
And that was right.
I didn't know that. That is awesome.
And that was right before he shaved off his beard. And then for RVA's online competition, he did just mustache.
Yeah, I judged him for that. Like, that was tough. That was a really, really tough category to judge.
Mm-hmm.
The styled mustache. I mean, it was him. It was Eddie Kimmerling. I'm forgetting names here, but I mean,
Andrew Cole was in that.
Yeah. Andrew Cole. This guy I'd never met before.
He's the one that took first, right?
He got first or second. There's another guy who had a really nice fanned out imperial stash, kind of like Jackie, when he was doing really well. And then, Eddie got, so it was Andrew Cole, this other guy, and Eddie who got the top 3. And it was like, it was tough. It was tough, with Jason. with Kylie in there as well. Like I it was just so stacked. Like even to get the top 4 figured out, or like how the top 4 got figured out, it could have gone any way with anybody because there were so many good mustaches for that event. It was judging is tough. Judging is really tough at times. It's fun, but it is so tough.
So, what's your favorite kind of candy?
Candy. Probably Skittles or Starburst. I like the kind of chewy, fruity candies. Yeah.
Okay.
Get the lemons out of here, though. Like, lemons can just go shit the bed somewhere. Oh, can we swear on here?
Yeah, no, it's fine. You're totally good. I specifically mark when I upload the video, I'm like, this video is not for kids. But if kids want to watch it, I don't care. But it's not marketed towards children.
All right. But yeah, those are the 2 I like.
What's your favorite kind of drink?
What's my favorite kind of drink? Non-alcoholic. I've really gotten soda out of the mix lately, but I like soda water. So we bought a Soda Stream for the house. So we've really cut down on waste from like just cans and bottles of stuff. So we just refill up these bottles that they give you, and you can add flavor into the soda water, and it's nice. It's all sugar free. It's just like drinking bubbly water all day long. So I really like that. Water. Alcoholic beverage. God. Probably a good whiskey. Like a good Irish whiskey. Just smooth. I think it's probably one of my favorites, just to sit back and sip on.
Have you ever had Glen Ness?
No, I haven't.
It's a Scotch, but it's probably the best Scotch I've ever had at the price point. You can get a bottle of like 18-year aged for like $20, $25.
Wow. That's highway robbery right there.
Yeah, and it's smooth. It's nice. Like, and I have some of those metal balls where they have the water on the inside that you can freeze, so it doesn't like water down the whiskey.
Right.
So I'll just
still chills it, but
throw one of those in it and just chill and drink it. Smoke a cigar.
It's a good night. It's a good night right there.
Well, honestly,
I was just gonna say I had some Glenfiddich 12-year a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
That was good stuff. That was some good Scotch.
Yeah, but honestly, since the baby's been born, like I haven't been drinking really.
Nope.
Like just because.
Gotta be on call, man.
It's just
be on call, brother.
So I've got like whenever people come over, like because I still do like barbecues and have family friends over, I've got just cans of hard cider or hard seltzers, beers, bottles of wine. In our bedroom, we have a little mini fridge. So that's literally just filled with alcohol. And it's like, okay, I got this fridge full of alcohol, but I really don't drink much anymore.
Yeah. So right there at your bedside, too. And you can't do nothing about it.
So whenever someone comes over, I'm like, you want a drink? You want some alcohol? Please take it away from me.
Let me run to the bedroom real quick and get my stash for you.
This shit right here. This shit right here. All right. So what's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, I think loud chewers. People, that just keep their mouth open when they eat or like chomping down on ice. I've got like an audio sensory thing where if I just get annoyed to all hell when people are chewing with their mouth open, just smacking. And I get that. So there's actually a science to tasting food that you kind of need to smack your lips and your tongue around a little bit because it gets air flowing and it like opens up your taste buds so you can taste more. But the people that I'm complaining about aren't trying to taste food. They're just being disgusting.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I had a roommate once where like I about lost my shit on him. It got to the breaking point, and I just looked at him. I said, dude, gotta stop this.
Yeah, I drive my girl crazy because like I don't chew with my mouth open, but I chew loudly. Like I'll put like 5 or 6 potato chips in my mouth and it's just like crunch, 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 crunch. And so eventually she'll just like leave the room. She won't get mad at me. She'll just leave the room. And at that point, I'm like, I mean, I chewed with my mouth closed. So I like, if she's in the
And
room,
there's nothing you can do about potato chips.
there really isn't.
You know, potato chips get a pass.
Oh, no, not in this household. All right, what's your favorite cartoon of all time?
Oh, of all time, it's probably Looney Tunes. Just a barrage of Looney Tunes stuff. Bugs, Wile E. Coyote, Yosemite Sam, all those characters. And you can't see them anymore, which really bugs me. Like, there's no easy way of finding good Looney Tunes, like old Looney Tunes Warner Brothers cartoons, because they smoke or there's too much violence, which is BS. But
well, you saw that they took away Yosemite Sam's guns and gave him a pickaxe, like a giant Soul Calibur style pickaxe.
Like, so, they reanimated stuff from the past, or just new, like if they were going to draw them again and re-release stuff, they just give them the axe?
Yeah, because they have new Looney Tunes out, and it's garbage. Like, I put it on for the baby.
Sure.
It's absolute swill. Like, half the time I'm just like, okay, I'm putting on something that's repetitive baby lullaby singing because I can't stand this new Looney Tunes anymore. Like, Wile E. Coyote doesn't get to blow up the Roadrunner or hurt himself anymore. Like, it's all so edited. And
that's garbage.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like they'll still mix in some of the older episodes, like the ones with what is the rooster's name?
Foghorn Cleghorn.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn, and the little baby chick that's like, let me at him. Like they'll throw those ones in every now and then, and I'll leave those ones on. But as soon as they put on one of the other ones, I'm like, all right, switching it over to something else.
Yeah, that's kind of garbage. Newer stuff. I mean, Rick and Morty. I mean, I think it's a go-to for a lot of folks. It's so smart. I think I see some pops up there. Yeah, on the corner.
I only have one Rick and Morty pop because they saturated the market so much with them that they're really not worth anything. But
sure, if you're actually collecting them.
Yeah, like that box has a little pop, like Rick, a little Morty Funko, and he's holding one of the seeds from the first episode with this like look on his face. Like, here, I'll get it down real quick.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
He's got this look on his face like, oh no, this isn't going to end well.
Yeah, I think that show is it's insanely smart. And how they write that show, how they come up with this stuff. Like, I'm not that creative by any means. And I mean, I wouldn't be recruiting for Target if I was that creative. It's just awesome. My kids have really got me into Avatar, the Last Airbender series. It's Sienna, my older one. Her and I got into that probably when she was like 4 or 5. Yeah.
The Cabbage Man. Like, oh my cabbage.
And so we've been rewatching that just over and over again on Netflix, and I think they keep upgrading the quality of it too on Netflix. So now I don't know if it's in ultra high def now. I think that's their goal. Is like the next re-release, they will have it in ultra high def on Netflix. So just keeps getting a little crisper.
Don't watch Korra.
We did. I haven't seen the whole thing. I was a little disappointed. Actually, our cat, she was in here earlier, is named Cora. From Cora.
Yeah, because like 2 weeks before they put it on Netflix, like I was itching for Avatar and I couldn't find it on any of the streaming platforms. So I bought the DVDs for it. DVD quality is garbage for it. So I'm watching it with Erica, and then I see on Netflix that they have it, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I don't got to get out the PlayStation. Like, let's just turn it on. And I'm like, mother,
Stop.
it's such better quality. Why did I not just wait?
Yep. Oh, it's also good to know friends that are in tech so they can download all this shit for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a privilege that I've been able to have. I have a good buddy from I've known forever, probably since we were like 8 or 9. Actually, probably gonna go see him in a little bit here. He's got a server set up at his house, and like I just can go into this program, put in a request for pretty much anything that I want to see. It's automated, so it automatically just starts downloading it. His server and programs that he's got running just do all the work and connects to my TV. I'm good to go. It's awesome.
Now, you were saying Rick and Morty. Have you seen any of the stuff, anything else that Dan Harmon has done?
Oh, God. So Dan Harmon, so he also did Community.
Yeah.
Right. So I've seen a lot, pretty much all of Community. What else has he done?
He has this, I found it luckily one day. It's called Harmonquest, and it's partially animated. Him, his ex-wife, and a couple other people, they have like a special guest on every week. They play Dungeons and Dragons. So they pretend to be these other characters and like fumble through missions. And they have one, like their dungeon master is very serious about the whole thing, but he's also got the same kind of like humor as them. So every time they try to do something, he just gives it right back to them. It's hilarious. But a lot of the voices from Rick and Morty, have you ever seen Gravity Falls?
Yes. Yeah. They use a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the same folks are kind of switch back and forth there.
That is definitely one of my favorite shows. Like, I've probably watched it 7 or 8 times now.
Yeah. I do need to watch that more in depth. My kids love it. And I've sat and watched it with them, going, God, this is actually pretty good. Very thought-provoking as well.
Yeah, I've got Dipper's hat right here.
Nice.
And I've got the third journal as well. Like, they had it for sale. And so, like, I've got a couple of Funkos up there of it. And that one's definitely my favorite cartoon of all time.
Okay. Gravity Falls, that's your go-to now?
Mm-hmm. And Alex Hirsch, the guy that created it, he's got a new series out now called The Owl House.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's, it's okay.
I've seen that.
It's on Disney, like Disney X.
Okay. Yep.
But it's
checking it out then.
It's definitely worth checking out, but it's not like the same level as Gravity Falls. All right, enough about cartoons. What are some morals? What are some morals that you live by?
Oh man, golden rule for sure. Just treat everybody how you expect to be treated back. That's always been one that I grew up with, and I hope people can have that same sort of respect with other people. I hope, but it's not always the case. And it's funny. We just had to fill out. We have this huge department meeting next week, where everybody from our talent acquisition team, there's like hundreds of people, have all these different activities that we're doing next week virtually. And so we had to set up like a team member profile that says like, what are your morals, or like, what's a life motto that you live by? And Joe Dirt, you just got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it. You get inundated with just crap all the time. Like I've been through a lot of just negativity, you know, and the only way to get through it all is just to persevere, just to keep moving forward, just focus on what you can control and how you can keep moving forward with that. And, you know, that's what's been keeping me floating.
All right, so if you could have lunch with anybody in history, dead or alive, who would it be?
Man, real?
Yes.
They have to be real?
I mean,
All
you
right.
could do either. You could do both.
No,
Like, give us your fantasy person and
real. Man, I don't know. This is always a tough one. Who would I go with? I'd probably, like, I've always been fascinated by space. So I was okay. So first I was thinking Neil Armstrong here because I just think it would be cool. Like, dude, what was it like? You know, be up there, go walk around on the moon if you believe that sort of thing. You know. But I think Einstein would just be a really cool dude. I think to speak with Albert Einstein. The guy was a nut. Like he was hilarious in his circles. But I think just how he came up with like theory of relativity, like just try to pick his brain to see like why he thought of these concepts, like how he thought of these concepts and about space and time and all that, the relativity there. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physicist by any means, but I'm super intrigued by a lot of that. You know, is time real? Is space real? What is this right here? And just to sit around with somebody, you know, with that kind of a brain, I think would be awesome.
One of the main ways I try to live my life by, actually, I got from Albert Einstein during when he would hire people on for his team. Their last interview would be a meal. He would take them out to lunch or dinner or whatever, and he'd sit there and watch them. And if they put salt and pepper on their food before they tasted it, he wouldn't hire them because it meant that they weren't willing to try new things and see someone else's point of view or perspective, and he didn't want that on his team. And when I heard that, I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, so every time I see someone, like, we go to a really nice restaurant and someone reaches for a salt shaker, I'm like, no, try that first. And they're like, okay, fine. Oh, you're right, it didn't need it. You almost ruined that meal. How dare you?
But you're a cook too. So you really understand that. And as well as like I've cooked in a lot of restaurants and like I cook a lot around the house. And I'm like, whenever I'm out to eat, if I get a meal, no salt and pepper goes on that ever, because you want to try it as the way it was intended, as the way that the chef brings it out to you, because that is a new thing. It's new to you. Try it as it was supposed to be.
There was this chef I worked for.
I like that motto though. I like that thing about Einstein.
There was this chef I used to work for. He would make his own pasta from scratch, and one of his pastas, it had like saffron and chili flakes in it. And this customer was like, I don't want the chili flakes in it. Can you take them out? And he's like, I made the pasta this afternoon. Like, I can't just whip you up a brand new batch of pasta.
Right.
Like, that's not how it works. If you don't want this dish, order something else. And he was like, this guy was like, well, I want to speak to your manager then. This guy was the owner of the restaurant. So he's like, I'm the manager, I'm the owner. He pulled out his wallet, threw $100 on the table, and was like, this will pay for whatever drinks you ordered. Get out of my restaurant.
Wow.
And at this point, we hear him yelling, so we all leave the kitchen, stop what we're doing, and we're just standing behind him like, looking like thugs, like, yeah, do something, I dare you. And the guy, he looked at him and he started like, you don't have the right to touch. And he's like, I don't have the right. He grabbed him by his shirt and dragged him out like an old school bar scene and threw him out of the restaurant. And I was just like, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
don't try to
boss.
change.
That's my boss.
Don't try to change what the chef is trying to do. Especially like this guy,
Yeah.
he'd won best upscale Italian dining restaurant. At the time, it was like 7 of the last 8 years that he'd been in business when I started working for him. So he had like, he knew what he was obviously doing. And for you to go through and try to change his idea for food, it was ridiculous. And he handled it. Like nowadays, he would have gotten sued so hard for even touching someone. But back then it was like, I don't care. Like, and he turned around, he's like, anyone else got a problem with my food?
Nope, I'm good.
And everybody's just like the whole restaurant filled it like, okay, we're gonna have our own conversations now. But it like felt dead silent as the dude was getting dragged out. Everyone's like, oh. And plus with all the, like, there was like 8 chefs standing right behind him, like, do something, we dare you, dude.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Don't go to a restaurant and expect a sauce to be altered just for you. Like those sauces are, you know, well crafted, well ahead of your time, you know, coming into that restaurant. So just stop. Just stop, people. Respect your chefs. Respect your cooks.
All right. What is something you wish you could learn to be better at?
What's something that I learned to be better at? I think just being working with like woodworking. Something I've always wanted to be better at.
Every person that I've interviewed has said woodworking.
Get out of here.
I think maybe one person hasn't, but like Eric Brooks said it, Eric Choate said it.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, it's just like I love you know, building things. I love working with my hands, but I'm behind a desk all day. And I think that's somebody who's behind a desk all day is like something that you yearn for, is to, you know, to build things more often. And woodworking is just something that really stands out to me. I got a couple friends that you know, probably can help me out with that. I'm actually good friends with this guy who's like 60 something. He's like, his heyday was growing up around Haight-Ashbury out in San Francisco in the late 60s. So this guy's just this old hippie that lives out by me. We go to the same brewery all the time, and we've had these virtual hangouts over the last few weeks, and he's going to help me build a table from scratch pretty much. So hopefully from there I can get some good basics down to keep up with it.
Nice. So are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night
For
owl. Sure. Yeah. Like I'll be up late tonight. Get up whenever tomorrow. During the week, I have to get up early because I have a Monday through Friday, you know, kind of 9 to 5 kind of job. And so I can force myself to get up. Like I've got no problem with that. Chelsea, my girlfriend, she has a hatching period of about 2 hours every day. So you just don't have conversations with her. I've learned that. Like, that's fine. You know, she is not a morning person, even when she has to work. And that's okay. That is definitely okay. But yeah, night. I'm a night owl.
All right, so I got some would you rather questions here for you. Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life?
Kid. Hands down.
Would you rather go on a cruise with friends or with your spouse?
Going choppy.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear it. So would I rather go on a cruise
with your significant other or with your friends?
My friends.
Would you rather lose your keys or your cell phone?
Cell phone.
Would you rather?
I've been trying to.
Would you rather eat a meal of cow tongue or octopus?
Octopus. I've had cow tongue. Not a fan.
See, okay, one day when we have our competition again, I'll see if I can get you in to be a judge, so that way you have to come. But I will take you for some traditional Mexican street tacos where they make it with beef tongue.
Okay.
Dude, it is on another level. So good.
All right. I know I'll try it again. The way I had it prepared, it just wasn't to my liking. So Andrew Zimmern had a food truck downtown Minneapolis, and they had these veal tongue sliders, and just they were sliced up super thin, and just the texture wasn't there for me. So I'll try it though. I trust you.
All right, and last question. Would you tell us a joke?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I eat mop.
I eat mop who?
Ah!
All right. I see what you did there. All right, dude. Well, thanks again for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I appreciate you asking me to come on here, man. It was good seeing you and good chats. Good chats for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. You have a good one.
You as well, sir. Have a good weekend. Take care.
You too. Talk to you later. All right. So that was Mike Wilson. I hope you guys got to know him a little bit better. This weekend, Beard Mobb has a competition. You can find them on Facebook. I'll put the link down below. If you like the video, you know what to do, like or subscribe, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.